You inhabit a reality, a timeline shaped by your choices, your beliefs, your energy. But this isn't the only one available to you. All around you, countless versions of your life are vibrating, unseen, untouched, but fully real. They wait not to be earned, but to be selected. And selection begins with resonance. You're not stuck, not by fate, not by misfortune. You are looped in a frequency pattern your nervous system knows too well. A familiar signal that your entire being is still tuned into. That signal is what holds your current reality in place. Your thoughts, yes, but also your breath, your posture, your reactions, your field of being. People try to change their lives with effort, with force, with desperation. They hustle, strive, push. But the quantum doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to precision, to vibration. And the most powerful vibration comes from coherence. Coherence is when your thoughts, emotions, body, and energy fields speak the same truth. When what you think aligns with what you feel, with what you do, and with what you expect. This is where true transformation begins. Not with effort, but with embodiment. Wanting change is not enough. Want is an absence. Embodiment is presence. It's the declaration, I already am. So many people say the right words. They write the vision board, chant the affirmations, watch all the videos. But underneath it all, they carry tension, resistance, and subconscious doubt. And the quantum doesn't listen to the surface noise. It listens to the core signal. Your body knows if you're faking it. Your heart knows when you're hiding. Your field knows when you're hesitating. That's the frequency you're transmitting, and the field mirrors it back. So if you keep seeing the same results, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're broadcasting the same signal unconsciously. Before we go any deeper, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But here's the beauty. You can change the broadcast, not by pushing, not by pretending, but by remembering who you already are. Quantum physics tells us all timelines already exist. Infinite versions of you, infinite realities, each one vibrating, waiting for your alignment. So when you shift your frequency, you're not forcing a new reality into existence. You're syncing up with one that was always available. The mystics knew this. The great inventors hinted at it. Tesla, with his obsession with 3, 6, and 9, was pointing at the patterns, mathematical, energetic, vibrational, that organize the universe. Reality is not just material, it's musical, it's patterned, and your life is a melody you broadcast. So the question becomes, what note are you playing, and what symphony are you attuned to? To shift your timeline, you must become the version of you who already lives in the new reality. Not just think like them, but walk, breathe, move, rest, love like them. This isn't fake it till you make it. It's be it until you see it. Pause for a moment. Tune in. Which version of you woke up this morning? Which frequency did you feed with your focus? And are you willing to retire that version? To stop energizing that loop? Because behind your conscious desires are layers of old code, traumas, inherited beliefs, emotional reflexes. Your system is built for what it knows, even if what it knows is pain. That's why change feels unsafe. That's why success feels elusive. Your nervous system is guarding the gate. This isn't your fault. It's biology. But biology can evolve. The observer effect in quantum physics teaches us that our perception collapses possibilities into form. But what part of us is doing the observing? Often, it's the subconscious, the part shaped by memory, by fear, by past pain. 95% of your behavior is automatic, programmed, conditioned. So while your conscious mind says, "I want change," your subconscious may be whispering, "I want safety." And the field listens to the stronger signal. This is why manifestation often seems broken. It's not broken, it's just misaligned. Your internal observer must evolve before your external world can. Let's go deeper. Let's explore what embodiment truly means. Not as a concept, but as a daily discipline. Not as theory, but as felt experience. Embodiment means showing up every day as if the shift has already occurred. Not forcing joy, not faking peace, but aligning your being with the frequency of the outcome you say you want. Your life is not built from big dramatic moments. It's woven from micro signals. It's the breath you take before answering a call. It's the way you greet your reflection in the mirror. It's the intention behind your smallest choices. Quantum alignment happens in these ordinary moments. And it's here, in the seemingly mundane, that timelines are made or broken. So let's bring this home. If you say you desire abundance, are you acting as someone who trusts money? Or does your body still brace every time you spend? Embodiment of abundance might look like breathing deeply at the checkout line, spending slowly, intentionally, and saying inwardly, "There is always more." If you say you want love, how do you show up in solitude? Is your heart open when no one's watching? Embodying love might mean placing a hand on your chest and saying, "I am already loved. I already radiate love." If you're calling in healing, do you treat your body like an ally? Do you move with care, rest with reverence, nourish with compassion? Healing isn't a destination. It's a relationship with your own biology, your own breath. These subtle acts are not symbolic. They are vibrational declarations. Each one says, "This is who I am now." You see, the universe isn't waiting for your hustle. It's waiting for your coherence. When your being becomes a clear signal, the field has no choice but to respond. But coherence takes presence. It takes returning again and again when you drift into fear. It means choosing calm when chaos is louder, choosing truth when doubt feels easier. Let me be clear. This is not perfection. This is practice. You will wobble. You will forget. You will have days when you spiral. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're becoming. The gift is in the return. Every time you come back to the signal of who you are becoming, you reinforce it. You train your field. You deepen your timeline. And now, let's talk about the power of intention, not as wishful thinking, but as a calibration tool. Intention is not about asking the universe. It's about telling your field where to tune. So begin your day with clarity. Ask, what frequency am I choosing today? Peace, power, trust. Set that intention not just with thought, but with movement, with breath, with behavior. And throughout the day, keep checking in. Are your actions echoing your intention? Are your words, your pace, your posture, your energy reflecting the timeline you want to live in? Because that's what it means to become the timeline. To truly shift timelines, you have to stop living in theory and start living in resonance. The mistake most people make is thinking that transformation comes from information. They believe that if they just read enough books, listen to enough podcasts, follow enough teachers, the change will happen. But information without integration is just noise. And the field doesn't respond to what you know. It responds to who you are. This is why you can intellectually understand quantum manifestation, memorize every law of vibration, recite affirmations daily, and still find yourself circling the same frustrations. Because embodiment doesn't happen in the mind. It happens in the nervous system. Let that land. Your nervous system is the interface between your body and the quantum field. It's constantly broadcasting your state, not your thoughts, but your felt frequency, your inner truth. So what is your nervous system broadcasting today? You may say, I am abundant. But if your breath is shallow, your shoulders are tense, your gut is tight with worry, your system is still whispering, I'm not safe. The quantum field doesn't respond to the words. It responds to the whisper. This is where most people get stuck. They try to override fear with mantras. They try to skip discomfort with positivity. But what you resist doesn't go away. It hides. And what hides keeps vibrating. So instead of bypassing the fear, sit with it. Breathe into it. Honor it as part of your current signal. And then choose again. Because that's the secret no one tells you. Quantum shift doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. It requires awareness. It requires the willingness to meet yourself fully, again and again. The version of you living in the new timeline doesn't live without fear. They just relate to it differently. They feel it and choose truth anyway. They notice doubt, but still act in alignment. This is how you collapse the wave. Not by being flawless, but by being faithful to your chosen frequency. And that faith is not blind. It's embodied. It's the kind that says, even though I still feel the echo of the old story, I choose to act from the new one. That moment of choice, that breath between the reaction and the response, is where timelines split. So the real practice becomes this. Can you stay in alignment long enough for the new frequency to stabilize? Most people shift for a moment. They glimpse the new. They feel the expansion. But then the world doesn't reflect it immediately, and they collapse back into the old. They say, it didn't work. But it wasn't that it didn't work. It's that they didn't hold the signal long enough for the wave to collapse. Because here's the paradox of the quantum. It's instantaneous in its reflection, but it requires sustained alignment to reorganize reality around you. The signal must become consistent, not perfect, not rigid, but persistent. This is where micro-alignment becomes your most powerful tool. You don't shift timelines by moving to a new country or quitting your job overnight. You shift by shifting who you are in the smallest, most invisible moments. When you breathe differently in the face of pressure. When you soften your body instead of tightening in fear. When you catch the inner critic mid-sentence and speak to yourself with kindness instead. These are the quiet moments that bend reality, and they're available to you right now. Not after you've healed everything, not when life calms down, not when you've figured it all out. Right now. Because the timeline isn't waiting for you to become perfect. It's waiting for you to become coherent. Let's now talk about the quiet saboteur of all transformation. Resistance. Resistance doesn't always look like fear. It often wears disguises. It hides behind logic, practicality, busyness. It can sound like, I don't have time, or this isn't realistic, or let me just fix this one thing first. But beneath all resistance is one core belief. It's safer to stay the same. You might want the shift, you might crave the new timeline, but part of your system still believes the old one is safer, more predictable, more known. And the quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to where you feel safe. That's why so many people get stuck on the edge of transformation. They take one step forward and then freeze. They touch expansion, then retreat. They declare change, but live as if survival is still the priority. This isn't weakness, it's wiring. Your subconscious is built to protect you, not to evolve you. It scans for threats based on your past, and it associates different with dangerous. So how do we meet this resistance? Not by force, not by shaming it, but by re-regulating the system. Every time you feel fear, contraction, avoidance, pause. Don't run from it. Stay with it, not to indulge it, but to understand it. Name it. Breathe with it. Because awareness is what transforms patterns, and breath is what dissolves the charge. This is where nervous system regulation becomes spiritual work. You cannot quantum leap from dysregulation. If your body is in fight, flight, or freeze, it is not available for alignment. It's in survival mode. So before you try to manifest, ask, is my body feeling safe right now? Is my breath open? Is my heart relaxed? If not, that's where the work begins. Not with affirmations, but with safety. Because when your system feels safe, receiving becomes natural. You stop chasing outcomes. You start allowing them. This is the missing piece in so many manifestation teachings. They focus on mindset, on belief, on thinking positive. But none of that matters if your nervous system is still bracing for impact. Regulation first, alignment next. Then, embodiment becomes effortless. So what helps you regulate? Maybe it's deep breathing, gentle movement, cold water, sacred sound, rest, real nourishment, time in nature. Whatever it is, prioritize it. Make it non-negotiable. Your vibration is not just a thought. It's a chemistry. It's a heartbeat. It's a rhythm. And your nervous system sets the tone. When you regulate your internal rhythm, you start to entrain your external reality to match. And from there, the field starts to shift. Not because you demanded it, but because you matched it. You became the signal. So remember, it's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming available for who you already are, beneath the fear, beneath the defense, beneath the trauma. Your truest self isn't waiting to be created. They're waiting to be remembered. And when you remember them fully, when your system relaxes into their truth, reality bends, time folds, timelines collapse, and everything begins to reflect back the version of you who finally stopped resisting the new. You've glimpsed the new timeline. You've felt the shift in your field. You've begun to embody, to align, to vibrate differently. Now comes the part most overlooked, sustaining the frequency. Because a timeline doesn't become reality when you touch it once. It becomes your new home when you live there long enough for reality to reorganize around it. And this is where most people collapse. They touch the frequency for a moment. They feel a spark of expansion. But when the external world doesn't mirror it back immediately, they fall back into the old signal. They say it didn't work. But the truth is, they didn't stay long enough. Quantum coherence isn't a visit. It's a commitment. It's a recalibration that you return to again and again, especially when the old timeline tries to pull you back. So, how do you stay there? How do you live inside the shift instead of chasing it? Let me offer a simple map. 1. Begin with daily tuning. Before the world asks anything of you, ask yourself, what frequency am I choosing today? Is it trust? Is it expansion? Is it clarity? And don't just choose it with words. Choose it with breath, with posture, with your pace, with your focus. Tune your instrument before you play the day. Because once you step into the noise, your internal song needs to be strong enough to stay in key. Second, practice micro-alignment. Throughout your day, pay attention to the small choices, not just what you do, but how you do it. When you eat, do you rush or savor? When you speak, do you contract or expand? When you move, do you do it with presence or out of habit? Each moment is a vote for a timeline. Cast your votes wisely. 3. Develop emotional recovery. You will fall out of alignment. That's not failure. That's human. The power is not in staying high vibe. The power is in how quickly you return. When fear arises, breathe. When doubt whispers, listen, then realign. When you catch yourself looping, pause, reset, re-enter. This is mastery, not perfection, but devotion to coherence. 4th, anchor with symbols and rituals. The mind forgets, the body remembers. That's why symbols are powerful. A number, a mantra, a visual, a breath pattern, a sacred object. They become anchors that call you back to the frequency. Use them. Surround yourself with them. Let them become touchstones for the version of you who lives in the new reality. 5. Let gratitude become your signature. Gratitude is the energy of already having. It is not performative. It is not polite. It is powerful resonance. When you feel grateful, not for what's coming, but for what already is, you collapse time. You signal to the quantum, I am already there. And the field responds with alignment. So practice gratitude not as a habit, but as a frequency. Let it vibrate from your cells. Let it become your baseline. Let's be clear. You are not chasing a timeline. You are becoming it. You are not waiting for reality to change. You are shifting into the version of you that naturally lives in that change. And every moment you breathe with that version, move with that version, speak from that version, you collapse the old loops and reinforce the new. So here's the final invitation. In the next 24 hours, do one thing, not a performance, not a ritual, but a real act that belongs to the version of you already living in the chosen timeline. Maybe it's a new decision. Maybe it's a new boundary. Maybe it's a single breath taken with full presence. Let it be small. Let it be sacred. Let it be real. And when you do it, know this. You're no longer waiting for the shift. You are the shift. Keep choosing. Keep embodying. Keep tuning to the frequency of your becoming. The field is listening, and it always responds.